But the problem is, as it relates to the SFM, and as you helped to point out, is that 90% of members fail with the company. And that's not just this year. That's been the case every year since the SFM's inception back in 2011 or whenever they launched. So that effectively means that for 7 years or so, everybody that's been making loads of money with the SFM have been doing so in spite of the fact that they know in advance that 90% of those they recruit are going to fail. That is a blatant conflict of interest, because the SFM and recruiters like yourself, who are actually willing to follow through despite such bad numbers, are the very benefactors of that 90% failure rate. And 7 years is definitely long enough for a trend to become a standard. It's not like the SFM is a startup and you guys are recruiting from positions of ignorance. And we can only conclude that the other 90% are quitting their memberships because they come to the conclusion that $97 per month just to maintain access to their membership is simply not worth it. If you really think about it, why else would they quit? The moment you join the SFM, you're incentivized to promote the SFM to others. But if you don't or can't believe in the SFM's product enough to do that, then you've basically got to ride with the education and web hosting platforms that they have for you. Knowing that 90% are going to fail before you even approach them should put anybody off trying to attract those people to the SFM. It's blatant common sense. But people join the SFM because they're sold on the dream. They think that they'll find success quicker with the SFM than by themselves. But this is totally not true, because their money they could have used to spend on building their own business is always going into the bank accounts of the SFM and people like yourself, who are actually willing to put the time and money into selling the illusion. And the product is not worth it. Much of the information the SFM provide is arbitrary and repetitive. But more importantly, as time goes by, you realize that you can get the same content for much cheaper, if not for free, elsewhere on the internet. And what the SFM do give you is merely the same as a university allowing you to access their course materials, but without the actual option of taking the course. And the SFM can't provide anything more than access, because, as you have helped to point out, people are joining and quitting the company all the time. There's no real community. It's a conveyor belt of people coming and going. The SFM is a business model that relies on attraction marketing to bring in new members. Because quite simply, the numbers alone don't back up anyone joining this company. So Dan, that brings me back to you. I commented negatively on your video because it's a great example of attraction marketing. Fantastic production values, excellent sound and curated scenes, and you did a great job of coming across as a normal guy that's come into a position of fortune. That is what attraction marketing is all about. So what I'm saying, man, is that I know that you know what you're doing, because your video was carefully produced for a specifically desired result. But the most important question is, and always has been, is the product that you're standing behind really worth it? The numbers would express that it's absolutely not. And that's why I told the other YouTube commenter to beware of you. People don't quit the SFM because they're not smart enough or because they lack the ability to follow through. That's the narrative that the SFM and people like yourself put out there. They quit the SFM because they're not willing to pull others into the same trap that they've been pulled into. And they realize it's a trap because at some point they'll see that $97 per month for what they actually get is simply not worth the investment. Full stop. And there's now over 7 years of data that can prove this. So I ask you, why would you recruit more people into such a company or situation if you knew for certain that over 90% of them would fail before they even signed up? And based on precedence, you know it's going to happen. So there's no answer that justifies this. And by admitting to me that you know that 90% of members drop out, you're effectively telling me that you're complicit to what's going on. I appreciate your willingness to front up and discuss this issue openly. And I'm sure that I'm commenting in a forum where you have far more supporters than me. But what you're involved with is a scam. Because there's clear cause and effect going on that is consistently resulting in one group benefiting at the direct expense of another. It's not an issue of perspective or opinion. For over 7 years via the Six-Figure Mentors, a group of people has consistently and repeatedly exploited thousands of others for their own benefit. And if you're willing to continue filming yourself in sunny and exotic locations while glowing about the SFM and its system, then I know exactly how you feel about the people that you're bringing into the company. It's gotta stop. But the only way for that to happen is for enough active members to wake up and act against the company at exactly the same time. Otherwise, people are still going to be victimized by a group of people who simply don't give a damn. I guess the final question is there any real decency left in you?